Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of the Grind Podcast, brought to you by the AI3 Leadership Academy. I am your host, Anthony Ireland. But before we get started, I'd like to encourage all our listeners and supporters to please like, rate, subscribe, and even leave us a comment on our channel. Your feedback is greatly appreciated, so feel free to do that. But with that being said, here's our next guest with hometown hero and professional NBA basketball player, Ryan Gomes. So what was going back on the Clippers, your transition to the Clippers? What was it coming from Minnesota to the Clippers, switching from Midwest to West Coast, being in LA? What was that transition like?
It was different, man. It was real different. We had Vinny Del Negro as the coach. He was our coach in L.A. And, me coming off those years in Minnesota, I was going to L.A. We had Baron Davis at the point guard. We had, I forget who our two guard was, but DeAndre Jordan was
Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon was our two guard. There you go. Good job. Shout out to EG, still getting buckets in Houston. Eric Gordon, myself at the 3, Blake Griffin at the 4, and then we had Chris Kaman at the 5 before DeAndre took over and was the starting center after that. So I'm already know I'm like, I'm going to play with Boom Dizzle.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. I love this dude, bro. I was like, I'm going to play with Baron Davis. Want a great guard, athletic. I used to always watch him. Remember to play from UCLA. Fake pass to the dunk. So I was excited, man. I was like, and the way I was playing in Minnesota, I'm like, I might be a perfect fit for this squad going from Minnesota here. I can post a little bit. I know we got Blake. I know Barron's a big guard. He's flashy, passer. Eric Gordon was a young stud. So I'm like, I'm going to fit in good.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get there, my first year was like, comparing it to Minnesota, if Minnesota was like B+, when I got to the Clippers that first year, I was probably like a C maybe.
Mm.
Like my game, no, you can't blame nobody, but the plays and who I was as a player, it did not sit well with what they wanted me to do at the Clippers. And at that time, like I said, I was in Minnesota. I was posting guys a little bit. I was doing a little middies. I was doing a little bit of everything, maybe some pick and rolls here and there, a little create, maybe play the 4 a little bit to mismatch against a boozer type or somebody like that because I was taking guys off the dribble. When I got to the Clippers, it was like, I ain't had none of that. It was like, run to the corner and you might get a 3 every 4 minutes.
Damn.
And if you get it, you better make that. And if you don't make it, you get another chance. And if you don't make that, you might have to come sit over here. Mm-hmm. So, and to me in California, at that time, the buzz was so high. Blake sat out the year before because he had the knee issue. So we coming back with a superstar, hopefully because they didn't see him play. So they, we showing off Blake, not in that way, but he's a number one pick.
Number one.
And we got to give the number one pick his stripes. And then we have Baron Davis, UCLA guard from the area, Inglewood dude. So, it was one of those things where I fit in, but my game wasn't going to help the team as much as I thought because I was playing in a more one-dimensional role. I was still guarding some guy. I was still, that defensive guy. Mm-hmm. But it just like offensively, it's like it just dipped drastically, and it just wasn't the right fit. I thought after that first year, I felt disappointed in the way my statistical categories was and who I was becoming as a player that first year in Los Angeles.
Now, going to the Clippers, did you know or have any type of idea about the Donald Sterling situation?
Not at all.
So,
there was no like whispers about who he was. Not even amongst like us at the table or after practice shooting after at a dinner. I never do nothing. But I will say, when we went to his house for the first time, when we had like before the season was started, and we went to his house who he lives on. He lives in Malibu. He lives on the water. Like if you guys seen his house, you'd be like, oh my God, he got a house. Then he got like a tennis court. Then he got another house. It was like, oh shit, This dude has got it all. And then I learned more about him, and he owns mostly freaking like 25% of Beverly Hills or something. Like real estate. He's like a mogul out there.
Right.
When we get to his house, he's the owner, so he get on the mic and he's like, talking about the players and he's like, I want to say if he says something along the lines of Blake, like, this is my new, like, show horse or something like that.
Oh, damn.
Blake didn't play, so this is coming out his next season. So, you hear that, everybody laughing. We all, having, hors d'oeuvres, appetizers and stuff, and all these people's there, everybody laughing and stuff. But honestly, that first thing was just kind of when I heard that, I ain't talking to nobody about it. I was just like, bro, we all the same. Like, we all human beings, and we all have a profession. And that was just like a jab that I was like, damn, that's everybody laughing, but I was like, that shit wasn't that kind of.
Yeah,
that shit was kind of funny, bro.
Low key, it's like he showed like his property, like he owned.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And that's what it was, and that was the first time I felt going to another franchise, even if they say these things behind closed doors, which we know he was saying things now behind closed doors that he probably never thought would get out to the public. And if any teams were doing that, that's what they were doing. But to hear that in a joking manner was kind of like, huh?
Right.
So no one still said anything about that, to us. But when I was gone, so that, about me, that first year I didn't play well as well. The second year, it even took a more dip. And then the third year, I got amnesty by the Clippers. And none of you know that is like I was still owed money from them, but they can relieve a player on your roster, any team, and that player's money don't count towards their books, but they still get paid their contract they were getting. So I was amnestied, so I left the Clippers, even though that year when I was there, my third year was paid for, but I wasn't part of the team. And then the situation came out with what he said. Right. So I had of it was that one thing he said. But after that, when I heard all the other stuff, I can see
makes sense
that. Yeah. I can see why that was, why he said that in the beginning, because it was kind of who he naturally was deep down, but it was in a joking manner. And then when he's talking to, his lady at the time, and she's recording, obviously she was recording, then you hear who he really was behind the scenes. So, of course, now looking back at it, it was disappointing for him to say that about every player. Yeah. Of course, it was more, probably more, it was more predicated. He said these words, so I'm not putting words in nobody's mouth. It was more predicated to the black players that played for the LA Clippers. Mm-hmm. And, to me, it's like, I know you're a real estate mogul. I know all you guys who own teams and, have money and do all this, but I always thought like we still the product.
Right.
Not like nobody else, but at that team, it's like you talking about people who are going out and representing your franchise, and you're disrespecting those people by saying those type of things in there. And we're all human beings, and there was no disrespect towards you. So why would you feel like you have to just throw out that disrespect towards them? And I just, from that point on, when that happened with him and the whole NBA thing, I was glad that they took a real stand and stopped, from that happening, occurring even more, and letting other owners and people know that ain't the way we're going to be doing things, and made a stand and got him about the NBA for life.
Now I know there was I don't remember the whole story, but I know there was a story with BD and Donald Sterling on the sideline, and BD's playing in the game, and there was a story where
I was in that game. I don't remember everything.
Said something to him just said something really disrespectful, But do you have any recall?
I don't have to recall exactly what he said, but I remember BD.
He was. I remember everybody was pissed. He was pissed.
Yeah, everybody's pissed.
He didn't want to hoop after that
because it's one of those things like, yo, bro, you are owner, bro. You representing, like you talking bad about your players like publicly and loud and during the game to, degrade them,
right?
And so it was one of those things where, we all men at the end of the day, and respect is one of the most important things that you want to receive from anyone.
Right.
And I don't care if the boss, whoever it is, bro, at the end of the day, you got to protect your pride and protect who you are. And BD, took a stand on that and, let him know how he felt no matter where environment we was in. So after that, everybody was just kind of, watching him close, and anything he had, we just like, we ain't trying to go to nothing. We're not trying to do. You guys got to go. You ain't got to say nothing to these people. It's like, man, first time what's the earliest we can leave this place? So you guys got to be here for at least 45 minutes, an hour. 45th minute, everybody just out. Like, it was one of those things where it was like, we playing for ourselves now, and it's like, you still got the damn Clippers logo on, so at the end of the day, we trying to provide for us, but we still representing this dude, too.
Yeah, that's a tricky
So
situation.
it was tricky, but, when it came out with the real evidence, no matter what he said to BD or any other player, the situation with Blake, when the world get to hear it, that's when the stand was made. And, everyone was like, nah, I can't believe this. And that was the only chance that people can really recognize what he was doing and get him out the NBA. But I have no, lines or sentences that he said, but I know it was disrespect because multiple people, even previous players who played before we were there, said that he had always said some funny type stuff towards them.
Now, just to remind you a little bit, but the guys you had Mo
Williams, right? Mo Williams, Kate. That was my day. Kenyon Martin
and
Reggie Evans,
Rasul Butler.
Rasul, rest in peace. Rasul, man. R.I.P. Rasul was my guy, bro.
Rasul.
We had. I played with Chauncey Billups. I mean, just all these people wasn't Clippers. I played with Chauncey. I played with Chris Paul.
Right, that year. I think maybe your first year, second year. That was the year I was at LMU, so LMU was giving me tickets to go to games.
Yeah.
But now, the team wasn't good, but
no.
Y'all were super exciting. You know what I'm saying? Blake was there, DJ was upcoming. BD was flashy, Eric Gordon was young. I used to love going to those games.
Yeah,
man.
and then and no disrespect to BD because BD's my guy, but I was only played one season with BD, and then we traded. I always say we because I was part of the team. Traded BD. Or he, whatever him and Sterling came up with, if it was like a mutual agreement, I'm not sure, but I know BD was going, and then we in the parking lot, and we Chris, CP3 coming to the Clippers. We had Blake and DJ already doing some high flying stuff with BD. BD on a break, going between his legs, throwing lobs. They doing all crazy shit. So now you're thinking we got a younger guard. Chris Paul's at the top of his game. He still played great this season too. Shout out to CP. But at that moment, the excitement was Blake was his second year, so it was we got a real superstar now. We got a real all-star on our team. Right. We might be looking at the next situation to get into the playoffs.
Right.
So playing with CP and Chauncey Billups, man, I love him, man. It's true vet. Chauncey Billups, and we had a great bench with, like I said, with the likes of I was on and off in that second year. I started a lot.
But wait, sorry to cut you off, but that was the lockout year. What was the lockout year?
The lockout year was
the lockout. Then CP3 came. Or
no, it was the CP3, and then they had the lockout going into when I got amnesty. That year they started back up on Christmas.
Okay.
So I was home going to the amnesty year. I was home back because I was empty. I was trying to get signed with somebody else. It didn't work out. And that's when I went. I was still back home for that month. When we had CP3, I don't remember the last time they made the playoffs, but I was on that team when we made the playoffs, and we was able to play Memphis in the first round, and we came back from that wild game. Nick Swaggy P was on that team too.
Matt Barnes? No.
Matt Barnes came after I left, so but Swaggy P was on that team. Yeah, he that game in Memphis, he went crazy that game, and we won that game 1 and stole it. And Memphis was really good. Conley, Zebo, Tony Allen, Marc Gasol, Quincy Pondexter. They was a really good team, and we was able to get through that series with them. And then, like I said, I got amnesty that third year, so that's when the whole dollar down on Sterling thing happened. And then once I got amnestied in July, I was home. I tried to get signed because a team could sign you and pick up, your contract within the first 2 weeks of when you get amnesty, but it's also free agent time too, so there's free agents out there. So I was waiting, and I didn't get picked up.
Around what time of the year is this?
This is
September, August?
I had it, yeah. Well, I had to get picked up in the first couple weeks, but then I still had, after free agency, I still had all the way through September. In my mind, it was by Labor Day because that's when I always reported to the team I was going to.
Right.
So I'm by Labor Day, I want to be on the roster. It didn't happen. So then I waited all the way. There was a lockout, so I was waiting, and nothing came. I was
so were you just training? Were you in Waterbury?
Training. I was just training. I was out here training in Waterbury. I had a house in New York, so I was living in New York, but I was coming back and forth from Waterbury and training here at the various gyms, and just trying to stay in shape just in case playoff come, anything come, I get signed, whatever. But things didn't work out, so I said, you know what? I ain't sitting home. I'm gonna try to go overseas. and play. So I was signed with CAA at the time, and they worked out and got me on the teams where we played 2 games a week, and we was in.
What was that like
Euroleague.
initially though? Like, were you like going overseas, leaving your family, like leaving
Well,
your
my
loved
family
ones?
came. My daughter
Okay.
was 5.
Okay.
So my oldest daughter is 12 now. Her name's Rael, and she was over there for the pre-K, kindergarten,
Germany.
in Germany.
Yeah.
I played with the Artland Dragons in the BBO league, and we was playing Euro League as well. So my agent at the time was like, I want to get you somewhere where you're gonna play 2 games a week because I know you've never been overseas, but playing in the NBA, being a starter, and all the luxury stuff you have, I at least want to get you as close as I can to playing 2 games a week because it's a lot of more practice time overseas than it is in the NBA. You might, coach might walk into practice in the NBA and be like, "No practice, guys." You'd be like, "What?" "Oh, just get the cold tub and shots, and then get out of here. I don't want nobody in the gym. I don't care. I don't care if you miss the last 10 shots. Get out. Nobody shooting balls up." And then you'd be like, "Oh, thanks."
Right.
But overseas, they knew what to expect. And then when I got over there, I was like, "What? We doing this much? We got to practice 2 times a day?"
Right.
I was like, "Man, this ain't it." But I was like, you know what? If I want to get back, it's what I got to do.
Yeah.
So
did you reach out to anybody like to try to get advice about the Euro League, not the Euro League, but like just Europe in general, or you was just like, I'm gonna just go out there?
I was just like, hoop is hoop, and I'm just gonna go out there and hoop. And but when I think back, I could check the temperature. When I talk to coach, "Are you sure? This is not the NBA. We play things different."
Oh, that's what the coach was saying.
Yeah, we're gonna be wanting this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, whatever you say, coach. Like, I'm gonna do it. And then I'll never forget when I got there. It was like, I felt like they felt like I felt that they felt about me that I felt like I was better than anybody there.
And that's how it be. We get that stigma.
And it was not that. And I don't know if it's because 7 years started in the NBA, like, oh, this guy, but I think he's going to be coming here. Or if it was a pick and roll when I'm like, and I just asked a question like, yo, coach, why, if this whole side's open, why are we letting them go that side? Why are we not blitzing, or why are we not, oh, you think you know everything, like, just listen to it. And that was the first time I was like, damn, bro, I'm just trying to make it, I was just trying to make it a suggestion. And then all the players like, yeah, I don't know why he be doing that. So I felt in that situation, he thought that the players were respecting me more than they were respecting him. I didn't question nothing, but it was just like, damn, bro, I don't know why we doing that. Or if I came out and scored 8 straight, 10 straight, so, and I'll be like, oh, bro, I can't. I don't know if this is the move right here. And we have 5 Americans on the team.
So who were the other Americans on the team?
Anthony King.
Okay.
Bryce Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Damon Mallet. Marquez Haynes. That was it.
Okay, he's still hooping, I think.
He's still over there. I follow him on IG.
Yeah.
This is my guy.
He's still hooping.
So we had a nice team, but there was no egos at all. But I think looking at our roster, they like, man, y'all should win. Y'all better win the BBL league. But I got there late too. I didn't start off. I got there in like December. Like I said, they got there September. They already started, or November. I got there. I didn't get there like training camp and do all that. I got there. They was already like 4 games in the Euro League, 1 and 3, and like they need to win the next 2 in order to go up to the next level. Like, you got to win that section, A, B, or C.
Right.
You got to be the top 4 teams in order to advance. It didn't work out. I got there a game. We lost in overtime. Then we played another game, got smoked, and that was it. So now we practice. We play once a week, and we practice
oh man,
every day.
Every day.
I'm practicing.
Real practice though.
Yeah, I ain't tripping. I'm practicing and doing everything. But then it was just like it got kind of funny, and they was on some funny stuff, and they was not trying to. I wasn't playing as much. I was getting points and then getting subbed out. Like I was scoring and doing well, getting subbed out. Yeah. And I was just like, I called my agent. I was like, I don't think I could do this anymore after like 4 months. He was like, what's going on? I was like, man, he acting funny with the time, and I don't know, he got something out for me I don't like. I think. So I remember, I'll never forget, I went. They said they want to have a meeting. I went to have a meeting. You sure you want to be here? I'm like, man, I'm playing, bro. I want to be here. I don't want to stay here. I'm gonna be honest with you. My goal is to get back to the NBA, hopefully. But I'm following you. I want to be a good student. I want the game. I want to listen to your thing. And we we just don't know if this is the right fit for you. And I was like, all right, okay. They said, well, come to practice tonight. Maybe have a good practice, and we'll see what's going on. I was like,
Nah, yeah, that's.
I went home after the thing. I swear, I went home. I said,
pack my shit.
I said, wife, you pack this shit up.
We out of here.
Said, we just got a care package from your mom or what my mom just said. I was like, listen,
Nah.
leave it to the next guy. Pack up, get the flight. They supposed to pay for us to go home. I said, we out.
Right, facts.
Next morning, we just got a taxi, 6 a.m. I was on a flight. I was already back here.
Yeah, nah.
But the only tricky thing about that is, if anybody has not been through it, you should never do that because they kind of own your rights and they might not send that paperwork for you to go ahead and get to the next team.
Yeah, nah.
Because they want to hold on to that value and maybe try to trade you off and say, we own them like we had them last time. So we was able to get out of that, and I was able to get out of that whole situation. And then I came home and I went to a few. So
this is the off season, right?
It's off after I left. After I left Artland,
okay.
Artland Dragons, I left there, and then.
But before you go into that, I just wanted to make a note that happens often.
Oh yeah, it's often
in Europe. American goes over there, we get the stigma of being
better than everybody else.
Right? You think you're better than everybody, and you start off on the wrong foot, and then kind of coaches, they play with your playing time, and then you're like, what am I doing wrong? I'm just coming to practice. I'm trying to hoop. But then they just do that, and then they play mental games with you, so you can almost make the first move to be like, nah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And the same exact situation happened to me. I was in Greece. I went to the team. The coach just wasn't playing me, and I was playing behind like a 38-year-old Greek guy. So it wasn't like he was an American that was killing. Yeah. And I came there. I'm like, why'd you bring me here? So I'm there for about 3 months, and then. The coach really got after me one practice, the whole practice just in me, and I'm like, yo, why, and he's comparing me to other guards. I'm like, yo, this is it's personal now. Why are you taking it so personal? So I'm just and then we had a game that next day. We went to the game. I played 3 minutes at the very end of the game, and I'm just like, yo, I just came from France, killing, what, what's going on? And then. I didn't say nothing to the staff, nobody. I told, we had a driver in Greece. I told him, yo, same shit. I'm booking my flight 8 a.m., take me to the airport. I was home. And then my agent called me Anthony, where are you? What team's looking for you? What's going on? I'm like, nah, man, I had to get out of there for my mental health.
Yes, if you're not in that fire, you will not really understand how you feel I'm giving everything and you're telling me I'm not.
Right.
It was weird. And I want to go to the next level. So why wouldn't I be here just BSing?
Right.
I brought my family here. I'm not here. I just started 7 years straight. I'm not trying to come over here and say I'm better. I'm trying to get out of here so I can get back up there. So the only way that's going to happen is if I have a good rapport with you and I'm doing well individually and hopefully we're doing, well as a team. But crazy thing about that situation before I leave it, I leave. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I get home 2 days later, somebody else is gone.
Oh, right, yeah.
A week later, the other dude leaves. And then a month later, the coach is fired.
Right.
So it's bro, it wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me. So that's how I looked at that. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think that next year I get signed. That's 2012.
Right. So what before you get that contract, what was that off season? What was the conversations with your agent? Was it Gomes, you trying to get you here?
When I got to Artland?
No, after. So you leave Artland and then that off season, and then you still trying to get back to the A. But what's the dialogue with your agent? Is he saying, you go over here in Europe, or we may got an option, or what?
No, I tell him, look, man, the overseas thing might not be the wave, bro. I said, you know what? I think we need to do any free agent camps from NBA teams. I need to go, be involved in some of those. My pride ain't that big. I wasn't no superstar there. I'm like, bro, I ain't going. Dude, I was like, yeah, I want to go to a free agent, not free agent. Summertime, every team has open run or a free agent camp, and I was like, I need to get involved into any situation so I can get on the team, hopefully. So,
and then how'd the OKC opportunity?
That's what happened, man. After they watched me play in Germany, they seen me playing in Germany a couple times, and they just liked what they seen when I was doing over there. So they had one spot available on their roster, and they brought 4 guys in. I don't remember the guys that came in. I flew to Oklahoma City. Had the workout. After the workout, got back home, and then maybe a week later, they was like, we're going to sign you. Mm-hmm. So I was able to get picked up by OKC, and I was there for the year. I got there in July, and then I was there all the way till January, and then the Celtics made a trade with OKC for Avery Bradley, 3-team trade, And I was one of the guys in the trade to come to Boston. Talked to Danny Ainge again. He like, look, we going young. Evan Turner, they had a bunch of young guys on their team. And it was like, you know how much we love you, but, you know, we got to evaluate the guys that's here. So we don't even want to, you know, we ain't going to waste your time and have you come up here. So I was like, okay, cool.
So with the OKC situation, like what was it like? Because that was the first time, like obviously KD and Russ, but like you playing on a like contending team, like you in the playoffs, like it's a different level in terms of Boston and Minnesota.
I learned when I played with them, like Paul was a superstar, you know, Al was the superstar in Minnesota, but you know it was a young superstar. I really got to see two, you know, mega stars and how they really, you know, approach the game by being a superstar. So I tell people like we had practice at 9 a.m. You know, most dudes getting there like, you know, 7:30. Russ and KD already off the court. They already got their work in. They probably was there at like 6. They probably got the individual. They already lift weights. And they just kind of not watch us, but they'll play, you know, live stuff like, you know, 4-0, 5-0, but they got their reps in way before everybody else. Right. And I was just like, man, that's the way. That's why these dudes is like that. They didn't practice much because they was playing 42, 43 minutes a game. So we was the ones practicing. Mm-hmm. So it's like I realized what superstars are doing. I realized like how they like attacked it, and those are gonna be 2 Hall of Fame players. Pete gonna be Hall of Fame too, but it was different because, like you said, in Boston, I was young and I was just watching Paul perform in the games. Right. He'll kill in practice, but really he was performing when the lights came on. He was really just, you know, he was a gamer. Paul's a gamer. Like, you know, he might not go to shoot around, but in the game, he might get 40. Right. You know, I remember a time he was in Miami as a rookie. You know, he didn't come to shoot. He wasn't feeling good, so he didn't come to shoot around in the morning. In the game, we at the arena, everybody get off the bus, 5:30, whatever, you know, game 7:30, playing against Shaq and D-Wade and them. And he's still kind of under the weather. He don't even go out and get no shots. Damn. The man get 43, something like that. You look at it on 41, 34, something like he get. And I'm just like, bro, this dude is just a gamer. Yeah. I never thought of, you know, a guy like, you know, you want to touch up from Miami, bro. You want to go out there and touch up. Game time came, he was just getting buckets. But when I watched KD and them, it was like, I seen why they get buckets because every day they practicing at 5:36 and getting their reps in, their quality reps in.
And that was 2000. That was one of KD. Was that KD's MVP year? It might have been.
Yeah, it might. I think it was. Yeah. 2013. Yeah. Yeah. Now came. No, it was the next year. He was coming off of like a little knee scope or something like that. He was coming off of, but he still, you know, I just watched him and the way Scotty coached and the way they practiced and the way the organization was. It was just totally different from the Clippers and totally different from Minnesota. Boston and OKC was at the top of the list. And OKC, because it was the most recent and it was the newfound way of how things were going, I would say OKC was top-notch organization that I played for as far as that new technology and new stuff that was currently now. They was ahead of the curve with that.
Now, in terms of what's the analytics?
Okay. All the little like dry needling, making sure we're taking care of our bodies, like all the vitals and all that stuff. It was like, this is why this team is up there like that. They monitoring the guys' minutes, you know, the loads. We practice 3 hard days. The next 4 days got to be low maintenance days. Right. Boston, Minnesota, and you don't care. Okay, I don't care. You should be paying like, yeah, we got sprints today and tomorrow, and we gonna land and we might, you know, go watch film right now. So you know, it was different, bro. It was just.
So then did you get traded or did you get released?
Traded. Nope, I got traded because it was like a 3-team trade, and what I was getting paid from from OKC, like kind of matched up for the trade for whatever they was doing with Boston and Memphis. I think Boston and Memphis was in the trade, but like I said, Boston already had, you know, 3 people at my position. It was like, you know, we already know what you can do. We want to give these guys a look, and we're probably not going to play you at all, so we're going to take whoever it was in the trade. And I was like, all right, but you know, with that situation, of course, I wanted to be with Minnesota OKC long period, but it didn't work out that way. But the relationship I have with that organization right now, for just being there 7 months, is better than I had the 3 years that I was with Minnesota. And the friendship I made with, you know, KD and Russ is in 7 months, and that was in 2013, 7 years ago, and I was only playing with them dudes for 7 months. And I know they moms, brothers, daughters, sons, family. So I take that, not like I didn't want to play, and I wish I was playing under that organization, but the value that for me going there for that 7 months, I think it helped me build a relationship with those guys and the front office or OKC where I can text these people now, not for favors, but just because I built a relationship with them. I know Danny Ainge's still in in Boston, but I don't know nobody in Minnesota no more.
Now,
Kevin McHale, I talk to every once in a while.
Now, in terms of like, just your mental health, because I think that's something that doesn't get talked about enough, especially in the NBA. But how were you able to just like deal with getting traded, deal with the uncertainty of your contract from year at that stage, and then knowing you have to provide for family, so what kind of like just give us a little bit of insight on like what mentally you're going through that you may not show people, or that you can't really communicate to people after your things are out of your control and it's the business.
Yeah.
So like how do you deal with things that in that in that mindset. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I got you. It's I always one of them guys. It's like, man, what you can't control, you just get control, and you got to try your best to be as focused as you can on what you can control. And all I control is my attitude every day. That's the only thing I control when I go into the job. If I didn't play, if they're not giving me any minutes, if they talking about trading me, it's just like, well, today I got to try to get better today only.
Right.
But even though like people don't understand, like,
because it's like you are you. Work.
No, yeah, and you are you. But it's hard to be a professional athlete,
right.
Man. It's hard because when you make it, I don't want to say the scavengers.
Time is ticking.
But I don't want to say the scavengers out. But it's just like, you got a lot more things you got to worry about than just basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes people don't take that into consideration because they want to ask, they want you to, help in this situation, that situation. So I think people forget, like, I'm only me, and I'm a small, pea in my career and what I've done. But I don't want to talk for nobody. But like, just imagine what LeBron James is getting every day.
Man.
With with the KDs, with the Kobe was like, your focus have to be so precise every day to be able to master your craft without having any little whispers of anything.
Right.
But everyone has problems. But when you become a success in anything, their problems become your problems.
Mm.
And you got to be a way that you could kind of dissect it. So for me, I always looked at it like, once I got married and once I had my daughter, it's not for everybody else. I don't want to say it was like that, but it was like, I got to think about these three right now. Yeah, my dad might need this, and my cousin might need this, and you in the jam over here. But hey, do you know what I got to do every day? Or do you want me to just worry about what you going through right now? And I always thought about that. I always be like, yo, some dudes don't even call and say, first thing is, yo, bro, I ain't gonna believe what happened, bro. Can you please help me? It's not, yo, what's up, bro? I know you in Minnesota. How the fam? How you doing, bro? I seen y'all had a good game last night. How your daughter?
Right.
How your wife doing? Now I know moms miss you. It's like you're not even concerned about me as to well-being.
And that stuff goes a long way.
Yeah, you're concerned about what you can get from me.
Right.
It's a selfish way, but I know you need something. But damn, give me some respect first. So that's the hardest thing I think for any athlete.
So then do you does that give you envy to that person, or like,
no,
you know what I mean? See, so how do you, because I'm not saying that like you're judging them, but it's like, yo, like you don't know what's going on with me.
You are. I am. I mean, I don't know if maybe I'm just one person that thinks the way. I do think that way. I'm like, damn, bro. I might hang up and be like,
right, like you just
didn't even ask me about nothing. I was like, nothing about me. Just like, can you give?
Right.
And I just look at it like, I'm upset.
Right.
But I'm in a position maybe where I can help, and I know you're reaching out for that. But then I still pause and say, damn, give me some respect first.
Right.
I'm still probably, I still looked out for people no matter what, but it's still, I still look back like, damn, you didn't even care. And I might have called you, and I'm like, but how your mom's doing? Damn, they asked my mom. He remember when he seen me 6 months ago. He's like, remember I seen you at the door? Yeah, I remember those type of things. And I might cherish those type of things. But you had to start looking at people like, man, who's just around me to get what they can get, or use me for whatever they can get. And there was a lot of people that I cut off later on, but I wish I would have realized even earlier. But I didn't realize it because, like I said, being a professional athlete, there's some things you just kind of be like, let me shut him up, bro. Here you go. Like, just leave me alone, man. I got Kobe tomorrow, bro. I know you going through something, but I'm not the only person you can call. Like, I know I'm not the only person you call. You my boy, you my cousin, you my aunt, you got a sister, you got a brother. Right. If you my boy, you got a brother or a sister and a mom and a dad and a granddad. So how do I jump everybody else and then I'm the first person you worried about? Right. So that's the hardest thing, man. And it's a hard thing when you have a lot or you have enough to be able to provide for others. And me, the person I am, is like, I don't want to be able to say, no matter the amount of money, but I'll just use an example. If it was $300 and I know I got it, whether I was playing cards on the plane or I was doing something and it was a family member that said I need it, I was always the type of person to be like, it ain't really killing me, so I'm going to do it because I'm in a position to do it. But once it became consistent, then you got to realize, like, they just using me every time. They might be lying and say, yo, bro, I need you to do this. Or, hey, can you do this, nephew? Or can you do this? And it's like, damn. I want to help you because I'm wealthy enough, and I'm not wealthy, but I'm in a position to help you right now to do it. But then you just like, it was just give, and there was no, like reciprocation. Not like you could pay me back, but the respect is the only thing I'm looking for now. I'm not looking for, let's say I gave you 500 when you give me 500 back. It was a thing that was, it was kind of hard to balance, but out of sight is out of mind sometimes. And when you have a job, and when I was working and playing with the NBA, it was sometimes where I might not be doing nothing, but that was my out. Like, bro, I'm about to go to shoot around. I'm going to shoot around right now. I'm about to go some extra shots just because I didn't want to deal with it. Because you don't know. Me and wifey could have gotten an argument. My daughter could be sick. I'm in LA. I'm in Minnesota. Something happened in my family, but you bringing your problems on me. And it's a hard thing. So the mental health, like you're saying, that's the thing where you got to be so strong and put yourself first at the same, and before anybody else. And when you got a family, that's when I don't think people will even realize, like, even if it's my dad, my aunt, or whatever, it's like, I want to help you. But if I keep helping you, it's going to come a time where I know I can't go to you and say, yo, I need your help right now.
Facts.
So I had to, you got to find that fine line and be like, I got to worry about these three. I got to worry about my wife and my daughter. Now I got another I got to worry. It's not even me no more. It's not even my wife. It's my 12-year-old, then my 5-year-old. Or maybe it's my 5-year-old and then my 12-year-old. So it's like, people got to put those things in perspective. But if you've never been in the fire, like, you're not thinking about that. You just calling and asking for what you can get. And I'm not saying I respect that, but I understand that. But it's still, as the person who's doing it, it's like, damn, bro, you're only looking at me, and you look at me, you're just seeing dollar signs or opportunity and not seeing, like, this thing going through a lot every day.
Right. No, I mean, for me, I think what you touched on was powerful, but for me, it's been definitely hard finding that balance, because, you want to help, but for me, I think, like, I tend, at least at this stage of my life, I tend to judge, or I get envious when, like, people, constantly reach out, want expecting. So finding that balance, but also, like, having, shifting that mindset, and embracing that role. Like you said, like, you're in the position to do that, being mindful of, not doing it too much, but, like, instead of be like, okay, like, I could give, my cousin $100, but does, and then on the other hand, it's like, nah, I don't want to, because he ain't never gave me that, or down the line, he may not be there for me. You know what I'm saying? So, but then on the other hand, it's like, no, Anthony, like, you're in this position for a reason. Like, embrace it. Even though you may not want to, embrace that shit. Because, like, I feel like in the long run, you're gonna look back and be like, okay, I did the right thing. At least for me.
And that's how I was too. Right. And you like I said earlier, you don't want no pat on the back, but when you're in a position to go ahead and help and inspire, or change something for someone for the good, then that's the more gratifying piece. But when it comes to the part where it's just give and take on the other side, it's like, that's just selfishness from that person. And you got to find that fine line, no matter if it's a family member, a friend. It's just like you're only one person. Like at the end of the day, no matter what you got, any of us got. Anybody else got. Yeah, you young. Yeah, young. But no matter what any of us got in here right now, you work to get that. Fact. So you don't owe it to. At the end of the day, you really don't owe it to nobody. Right. I mean, and I give everything to my mom and as much as I can to my dad. But at the end of the day, you still don't. To me, you still don't owe them everything. You don't owe them. You don't owe them everything because we all had to start, walking on our own 2 feet. And when you go out and go be a professional, you became a professional. Everybody didn't come to professional. No matter, the sport and all that, like I said. But if you do your part, you understand you did your part, and it's okay when you have to say no because you did your part. It can't be like, I do my part. When did you get to 100%? You're never going to get to 100% if you keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? You gave more than 100%. You already gave 100%. You can't just keep giving and giving. And that's why I used to try to incentivize when I did have to give somebody something. I tried to make it, like you said, make sure they're using it for the right reasons. Right. Oh, bro, I need I'm struggling. I need a few hundred for my rent. All right, you know what? Tell the rent lady to call me. Word. You know what I mean? Because I don't know I really don't know what you might be doing. Right. And I don't care, but if you're going to be honest, be honest. So if I check you back and say, all right, give me that. Bro, you don't even need to do that. Just send me the 200. Then it's like, I don't know if you're trying to play me now. So I got to watch you even closer. And I might, just the person I am, the heart I have, I might just give you the 200. But the next time in my mind, I ain't going to give it to you. Right. Because you just trying to skim off my plate when I'm trying to help you out. Instead of just being honest with me and deal with the no or the yes. Don't pull the wool over my eyes and try to use me. Because we all worked hard for this profession. Like, nobody was out there, no matter how much money I made, I ran the suicides. Facts. I shot the jumpers. I got the rebounds. I listened to the coach. I went to school. I listened to Vinny Del Negro. I was able to get this contract. So how can you just swoop in and tell me what I need to give you? That's not fair, bro. I would put the work in all the time. So that's how I always try to approach things after it was my limit was done. Yeah. I don't want to do it no more. That's real, man. And that's some great advice, great insight. But that's, you live and you learn. It wasn't this way as a rookie, as a sophomore, as my third year, my fourth year. You learn as you go about your ways, and you just got to really stop and be like, let me think this over again. Right. I was tripping, bro. I was giving away too much at this time. I can't do it no more. Yeah. I can't do this no more. I can't keep providing, and there's no growth in that person that I keep providing for. Right. So, hey, how about you get on your feet and you go ahead and start doing something because I can't do it for you no more. Okay, now back to hoops. That off season after you get traded, you choose to ultimately go to Spain. Go to Spain. I was like, I'm not gonna lie. Germany, it was like I was not forced to, but I was like, I gotta play ball if I'm gonna get back on the team. I can't just be home talking about film me. I'm at the Y shooting jumpers. And like I said, I gotta go play overseas. So when I go to OKC and then I get, I don't go to Boston because they release me because they don't need me there. I say, you know what? ACB is the spot. Hell yeah. I was like, man, Spain. I'm gonna be able to play in the Euro League, play against Carlos Navarro and all these cats. And I was like, boy, I'm ready to go for this. So I go over there, and what are the Americans on the team? One of your boys is over on the team. Boy, Orlando Johnson is over there. Ski 33. My guy, man. He's a character, man. He got so much good energy, and that dude smiles is contagious. And his energy, dude always dancing and stuff. So facts. OJ, Orlando Johnson, Lamont Hamilton, St. John's went to St. John's. He was on that team, and Deron Perkins was on that team as a backup guard, and I forget who else we had. It might have been that's only 3 Americans, unless we had one more I'm missing. But I went over there, and it was different too. It was different in Germany, the way they treated me even like almost the same way. It was one of those things where they promised me I was going to play 2 games. I was going to play in Spanish League, and then I played like 2 games in Spanish League, maybe 14 first game, something like that. And then they was like, we're not going to play. Damn. It was like, we're not going to play. I was like, what? I was traveling. It was bus rides, 8-9 hours. I'm like, oh, I'm about to get some run tomorrow, whatever. And then I'll go and I wouldn't play. And I usually be like, bro, they playing around, bro. It's just,
crazy.
I was just like, overseas might not just be the deal for me.
Yeah.
But I was trying because I wanted, it worked for me, when I went to Germany, even though the coaching and playing situation wasn't ideal, I was able to still latch on and get a gig with OKC. The trade happened, so whatever. So I say, all right, I'm gonna go to a better league, I think, than Germany,
for sure,
because there's more exposure, more pros. Luka Doncic and them is playing in that league. So there's a chance for you playing against really great competition that you do well, then you're gonna be right back. And I'm gonna be right back. But the coach was just, it wasn't just the deal. So I ended up being there maybe 3 months, and then
wifey and them didn't come.
Wifey came.
Okay.
No, wifey didn't come. I was there solo. I went to this one solo.
Okay.
My daughter, my youngest daughter, she was pregnant with my youngest daughter now, and my other daughter was going into school. So I was like, we already in school. I went late too. I went like November or something, like October, and I was like, we're not gonna take her out of school. So I went over there. Actually, I'm sorry, my youngest daughter wasn't here yet, but my oldest daughter was going to school. So I said, wifey, let me go over there, peep out the scenery. You guys gonna come? Yeah, I might come in 2 months, 3 months. So I go over there. It's not working out. She flies over. So when she flies over, they pull one of them funny stunts. She there. We got a home game. I don't play. She like, oh, it's okay, babe. I don't know. I said, I told you they've been tripping. So then we go on the road, and she's there, and we go on the road for like a 9-hour bus trip, and I don't play. So when I come back, I already telling her on the phone, I'm like, they ain't playing around, man. We're going to have to pull one of them stunts we pulled in Germany and have to leave.
Get up out of there.
So it was one of those things. I had a rental car and all that stuff, keys to the apartment, all that. They was acting funny, and I just was like, we out.
Got to.
And we left. I left the rental keys in there. They like, yo, my agent called me like, yo, G, what's going on? I said, bro, I'm out, bro. And so I'm gone. I'm leaving. Yeah. I can't do this, man. Overseas ain't for me. Right. I'm just done. He said, I understand. Let me call him and see. I said, man, I ain't played the last 3 out of 4 games. Like, do you want me to stay, bro? Right. I said, it's looking more tarnished on my name than anything. That's if I'm true, not playing. Yeah. I was like, and I'm not even doing nothing. They call you with any complaints? Right. He's like, I ain't hearing nothing. I said, all right, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe they want to play some of their other guys or whatever they want to do. So I'm not going to have no bad name and go cussing people out or anything. I said, I think it's better for me to just leave. So I leave. And then I say, when I leave, I tell myself, I say, I can't lead a game like this.
I know you ain't want to go out like that.
I said, no, I can't lead a
So
game.
was the retirement coming in your mind, or you was just like, there's no way I could finish like this? Or
nah, it was just like, I got to play. I was like, before I like really hang them up, I got to go play. I want to go play. Right. So I said, you know what? I called my agent, and I was like, bro, see what's cracking. Let's see what's cracking in the D League, because that's the next. Overseas, to me, was the closest step to getting there. Yeah. But then if you're in the D League, like, and you're playing for a team that has a D League team, their GM and people are going to see you every day because you're going to be in a facility. Yeah. So I was like, let's see if we can get to a spot. So LA Lakers, Defenders, who was a D League team, they flew me out. And it was like, we're gonna have a workout. My agent worked out everything, because in the D League, if you don't know, there's a free agent pool and there's always a team at the top. So I don't know if Utah was at the top. So Utah's at the top. They get first selection of the next guy that comes in if they want him. And then the next, Idaho gets the next one. And the Lakers was like 4th or 5th on the list. So I went to work out for them. I had a good workout. They liked me. So then they made calls to all the teams that was coming up and said, Gomes is coming in. He's already got a spot with the Lakers. Do not try to grab him up. So I knew I was going to LA. So I went out to LA and I started playing in the D League.
Who was on the team out there? I know you had Vanderblue.
One of my favorite dudes, bro. Vanderblue was 2-guard there.
Was Caruso there?
Caruso was not there. Josh Majette was there. Josh Majette, good guard. He's in Orlando right now. He's playing with the Magic right now. He was there. Andre Ingram, y'all know this. I don't know if you guys know the story of Andre Ingram. He was on that team. Mm-hmm. Harper was on that team. Mm-hmm. My boy Hart was on that team. And we had the big kid Robert Williams was on that team. I think his last name is Robert Williams was on the team. So we had a good team on that team, and we end up. I went there. I was locked in. I thought my value to that team was to show people I could still play at an older age, but also to show these guys who was really trying to get to the league, like the preparation that you need and what the NBA is really looking for. And Vander was one of my projects in my mind because he's a great scorer, but it was one of those things like, I know you can score probably every time. But let me ask you, if Lakers call you up right now, Kobe out there and these guys out there, can you just fit in? That's the biggest thing. Can you still make a shot, but after running down 4 or 5 times, playing D, coming off the pick and roll, help side, and then you get a look? Are you going to be knocking down, or are you going to be one of them that's just like, bro, I could score with these dudes, man. Why they ain't swinging the rock? I said, that's the biggest thing about the NBA. You got to fit the piece. You got to be a puzzle. You got to fit that puzzle piece. And he could score the ball. So that was one of my things. And show him how to work. Like, I was older, but I was doing this shit I learned from Russ and them. I was on the treadmill before practice doing, 15 seconds on, 45 seconds off. I was in there shooting about 200 before the practice. Then I was staying after, doing my routine. I stayed with the same routine every single day. I would come in and shoot, make 10 twos all around 7 spots, make 10 threes, 7 spots off the, jab pull-ups, jab shots from the logos, 1 dribble pull-ups, free throws, some back to the basket stuff, and I would do it every single day. Every single day. Day off, I was in there. Played, we had a bad game, I was in there. I had a great game, I was still doing the same thing. So I was just trying to teach them the repetition side of it, and then I was able to lead us to the finals in the D League. And when, impact player of the league coming in halfway through the league.
Right.
That's tough. It's like, I just didn't, my mindset was like, I'm not going out of playing the game after all these years of playing, just walking away from the Spain situation and being like,
hanging him up,
tie him up and it's just over. Because I couldn't look at myself and like, you went out without even playing. Like, you went out without even hooping, bro. You competed all this time and then you just kind of like threw it away. So that's me talking to myself. So I wanted to go out there. I didn't know I was going to come right, but I wanted to show the NBA, like, I got some in the tank still. Yeah. I ain't play overseas, really. I didn't play in OKC, really. I was a part of the team, but I didn't play. So I'm like, man, I got to show them I can still play. Right. So that was my focus, was just playing well, and I was able to, I don't know, 20-something a game.
You got a few 30 balls, right?
Oh, yeah, I had a few 30 balls, for sure. For sure. Every level had a few 30 balls. But, there it was like, but it wasn't that. And now when I watched my highlights of playing in the D League, I just seen like I was trying to show them like I wasn't pressed to score. I wasn't pressed to do it. It was more the art of it, like the art of playing, like the more like they not even advancing, or they going for that. Okay. Right. Okay, I know I can really just eat now. Damn. And that's how I was just playing. And I was showing the squad, but in that squad, because of the way the overseas had me thinking, I went in there like, listen, yo, this is y'all team. Like, I want y'all to know, like, I'm trying to get back, but y'all younger than me, and y'all really trying to get in. I want to walk away from the game knowing that I played. So I'm here to provide and play as hard as I can for y'all. Don't think this is like, yo, this dude in the league, he trying to be this outside, because I was never that guy. And I would never be that guy. So I just like, I wanted to play as hard as I can and show y'all like, what I can do. But not y'all, really the scouts. Because there's scouts at all them D League games. Right. If the Chicago Bulls is playing the Lakers on Tuesday and we played on Monday, the Chicago personnel is at the game, our game. So, I knew kind of that stuff. And I was telling them like, you got to come out here and play because these scouts was going to be here. And we was able to go to the D League finals. Game 1, we lose. Game 2, we win. Game 3, I get hurt, and I tore my groin. I get hit in my left side, and I got like a grade, 2 tear in my groin. But I go in the back in the finals. I go in the back and try to Willis Reed that thing, and they put the wrap on me and all that, and I'm like, you can run. I said, let's give it a shot. Like it's tight. Like I don't think I can. But I went out there and I tried, and I ran up and down like 2 times. They swung it to me to see if I can kind of like get a bucket. I want to say I made it, but I don't know if I did. But after that, I just was like, I can't do it. And we lost. It was the best of 3, and we lost.
Now, did you? Was there any time during your D League stint that you think you would get a call up?
Man, so many times I thought. But I just kind of started to evaluate.
Because the Lakers weren't good those couple of years. That was when Kobe was on his outs, and they were struggling.
Yeah, they were. They were. But when I look back, I just thought like, I wanted to just blame it on age because I wasn't that old, but I want to think I was far removed for the 3 years prior. like not playing enough minutes that they just wasn't willing to make a chance. They probably was thinking how I think. They was like, he's supposed to be killing these dudes like this.
Right.
That's kind of how I took it. So that's why I don't think I got a call up. But it's nothing as individual. It's always team success, and that team success helped me get the most, the impact player of the year. But looking back at it, I'm glad I didn't walk away because I showed like, I can make an imprint on a D-League organization, but on an organization, and we led us to the finals. I don't think they had in their minds that we was about to go to the finals when I got there. So that's what I'll hang my hat on when I closed the book of playing, professionally.
Okay. Now what about how quickly after that season did were you still contemplating like, okay, I'm retired, I'm good, or was it like, let me try to give another shot here, or you was like, nah?
Once I did that,
you was retired.
Once that groin got, I did that groin. I won Impact Player, averaged 23. I'm like, they ain't call me now, bro. Now I wasn't satisfied, but they ain't call me then. Right. And then I just clipped my groin. I'm about to be out like 8 weeks, 2 months. I was like, It's over. Like in my mind, I was just like, they ain't coming for me. And then I was like, I did that to D-League. What, I'm gonna do it again and still not get a call up? Right, so I was just like, nah. So that we lost in April. In May, dude from Brooklyn, one of my good friends named Adam Harrington, he was just getting a Brooklyn Nets player development job. Okay. And we went out and we had lunch together. We was chilling or whatever. He's like, yo, Gomes, what you gonna do, bro? I seen you killing, bro. I seen you killing in the D-League, bro. What you think about doing? I was like, man, I think I'm about to be done. He said, what you want to do? I said, I think I might want to kind of start training guys if I can. I'm like, I know he's a trainer. I was like, I'll get on your wing, but I got my guy, Rob McClanahan up in Providence, who does some training. I might try to get on with him. He was like, man, I just got, this job with Brooklyn. You should come. You're going to be back east. I was like, yeah, I'm going back home after this. He said, we're going to have pre-draft workouts. You should come and, come in and help us out. See if you, if you like it. So I went. I was driving from Brooklyn, from New York to Brooklyn in the summertime, pre-draft workouts. Pascal Siakam was at the workouts that year.
Now, did you think you could cook these dudes as well, or what? Or that wasn't even in your mindset?
I was still kind of banged up, but I'm going to tell you, I was still kind of banged up. But so I was doing the drills, I'm rebounding and helping, I'm doing the screens, I'm doing all that. And I was in the coaches meeting, like I was practice at 9, coaches meetings like at 7. I'm driving from my house in Hopewell Junction, 5 a.m., driving to be at the coaches meeting. Like, I'm like, well, this is my new deal. I'm like, I'm 34, 35, right. But I'm like, I could do this way longer than putting that miles on my body. So I was like, this is what I want to do. So I went there, I'm doing that. And then they like, you want to go to Summer League with us? And I'm like, for sure, bro. So I was in the practices. Sometimes you got to get out there 3-on-3. I'm out there. And they would come to the side. I swear the coaches was coming. Not like they was going to sign me, but like, bro, you sure? You done?
You done?
It was like, bro, you was cooking them dudes and open run today. I was like, bro, I still got some shit in the tank. But I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm not doing it. So they brought me to Summer League. And then after like the first 2 games, it was like, we're going to have our D-League team. Would you like to be assistant coach? Mm-hmm. And I was like, bingo. Yeah. The hoop and shoes is up. Right. Yes. So I took the gig and I was the D-League. I was the first team they had, Long Island Nets. I was assistant coach under Ronald Norrad. And the other assistant on our team was Pat Raftery.
That's dope, man.
And then this is gonna blow your mind just a little bit about that. My point guard at Providence named Donnie McGrath. He was a year younger than me. When he comes to the D-League, I'm coaching him in the D-League. Yeah. I coached him in the D-League for 1 year, the point guard I had at Providence. So it's just, Gary Forbes was on that team. I coached Gary Forbes as well on the D-League team. Gary Forbes was on our team. Chris McCullough was on our team from Syracuse. Yep. So that's where I started to get my knowledge of the game, even though I thought my basketball IQ is what kept me around a lot too, but I was able to kind of see how coaches operate, see how things are, and be more of a teacher than more of just a student of the game. So that's what got me into coaching, and so I did a little bit of player development, and then I did the coaching. So now that's what that's my stripes now, is to do that. So the hooping is up. Mm-hmm. I know I play every once in a while, but I did that. So now it's about expanding that knowledge and the things that I've learned over my career at all different places. Right. Because I think one thing that I could provide for anyone, or what I like to hang my hat on, is that I grinded to get to the league. I played in the league. Then I touched overseas. Then I got back to the league. Then I touched it again. Then I went D League. Then I went to coaching. So it's like I kind of not know everything, but I've been around to what a player might be going through, or what it might be thinking. I might could give you some of that insight because it ain't just like I've been at the one level.
Right.
Even though it was in the beginning, I started at the top, but then it started to get wavy, and I had to kind of finagle and find a way to get back out, and then finagle and find a way what's my next thing going to be. So
now in retirement, what is it? A lot of people say they miss the competitive edge, they miss the camaraderie with the team, the team bonding things that we do. So what is it that you miss the most about the game?
I don't miss shit about overseas. Them bus rides, weak as hell. All that is toast, bro. I don't like none of that. The only thing I miss the camaraderie. I love the guys.
Okay.
But the most thing I miss about everything is them charter flights.
Oh, okay.
The best thing I miss, bro. Them planes, in the
First
NBA,
class, everything.
Not even first class, bro. And when you in the league, bro, the plane is yours.
Oh, right.
It's 50 seats. We sitting in barbershop seats, bro. We sitting like this, bro. We playing cards. I got somebody sitting around there. The best food you can ask for. Anything you ask for is there. Ain't no hit the ding. It's like, oh, there go all the Snickers and apples and all that right there. Hey, miss, let me get a Shirley Temple in there. Let me get that filet with the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, like that?
Yeah, or like if you're a rookie, and we didn't do this in Boston, but if you're a rookie, like, yo, Rook, we got 3 hours for the plane. I need you to slide to P.F. Chang's, get everything. Go to Popeyes, get everything.
Damn.
So that's, what I mean?
So
the plane rides, and then when we land, staying in, the best hotels, it was just, and then you getting per diem when you land. It was just like, it's like the best. It was like the best of the best.
Now, did you have to like pay for anything crazy as like a rookie or anything like that?
No, like dinner bills or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
After practice, I was home, bro. I ain't got no money. I'm a second round pick, bro. I ain't got no money, bro. Okay. Come on, Gomes, bro. We need some. I like, bro. I ain't bring my wallet, bro.
Now, obviously a lot of people want to follow in your footsteps. So what advice would you give, like?
What year? Give me.
High
I would
say a college player that wants to be a pro that doesn't necessarily know the right steps. What kind of advice would you give him? Or a high school player if that would be easier.
See, and I'm gonna go backwards on this because we had this talk before we switched out the cameras. Like we talked about the social media and how it's changed, like the environment. I think in everything. And my advice is just going from my experiences. When I was younger, like you had to really go to a Charlie Weber tournament, or you really had to go somewhere and earn your stripes.
Yeah, that's true.
I think now with the social media and how it is for a high school kid, I'm just talking about the high school kid, like the highlights that you put up and the things that people see just on social media don't mean you really working, don't mean you really earning stripes from your peers. It means you just earning followers from what you put up on the gram or put up on social media because you showing all your positivity stuff. Mm-hmm. You showing only the makes. You showing only, when you had 30, but you played 4 games since then and had 6, 8, 8, and 10. Like, it's a false selling point to me. So, out of state is out of mind. I'm just saying this is my advice. Like, nobody knew I was going to be this, but I go back to Providence when you asked me, what you do? Did you come home? I didn't come home. Mm-hmm. Because it was like, not because I knew I was going to NBA, it's because I had a love for the game and a passion for the game. It's a difference between having love for something and really having a passion for it. So the question I would ask any high schooler first and foremost is, you got the passion or you got the love? So I think, and to me, it's 2 different things. The passion is going to make sure every day, every situation, every sacrifice that needs to be made, you're going to do. Mm-hmm. The love is going to be, sometimes your moms love you. Sometimes she hot with you. Sometimes your boys love you. Sometimes they hot with you. That goes up and down. So I think you got to ask yourself, are you passionate about what you want to become, or you just love what you might become? And that's the biggest thing for me. I fell in love with basketball, and I had a passion for it. So that's my wife. Like family gatherings in high school, and when I got to Providence, hey, you need to make sure, we got this thing at 3 o'clock, and blah blah blah, and we want everybody to be there. If anything had to do with basketball, and no disrespect, and it's like,
Right.
I don't care what the fuck y'all got going on.
Yeah.
I got to go get these shots up at Drew, because I can't let a day go by where I think somebody at Providence or Mike or Craig Smith or Mike Sweetney is working out right now, and they gonna have an advantage on me when I meet up with them next time. So the party's still gonna be going on after 3, right? It just started at 3. So I'm gonna go get my work in, and I might get there at like 4:35, but I gotta get my work in. So what I'm saying to the youth is, all the other stuff could wait. For us growing up, me probably more than Ant, there was less distractions at the time. Now there's more things that you can get yourself involved in via social media. There's Instagram now. There's Facebook. There's Facebook been on. Instagram, TikTok. Musically, whatever's out there. There's so many things that will take your mind off what you really want to become and what you really want to do. Yeah. So my thing to them is fall in love with the process. Fall in love and know it's going to take dedication. It's going to take determination. It's going to take sacrifices to get there. I played professionally, not just, I played NBA, but I went overseas. But it was like I got a joy of going in the gym and working hard. I loved it. I want to be better every day. I'm not saying you don't, but that's what you got to do in order to see it, because it didn't happen overnight for nobody. Right. I think some of the kids right now think, oh, I'm averaging 25 as a junior.
I got 500K followers. I'm
good. And I'm averaging 22 as a junior. Oh, I know I'm going to be going to this, that, and the third. Right. Like, don't have that already predetermined in your head, because you don't know what can happen and who even is looking at you when you get into. Keep getting better every day, every day, every day, every day. And that's why I say put the work in. Don't put it up on social media. You can, but I'm saying put the work in. Don't put up when you're just doing every good thing once in a while, because that's the trick. I think that's the mind trick for the individual, not even for the audience. Right. It's the mind trick for the person putting it up. Yeah. That's what I think, and that's what I would try to stay away from. Be proud of what you do, but everybody don't got to know what you're doing. Right. Everybody don't got to see everything. Right. I couldn't do it, but you want to show everybody the stuff you're doing, so when they match up against you, they know what you've been doing. I'm just being real. It's like, go working behind the scenes. Record, your boy record it, but you ain't gotta post it. Right. I don't care if you going between the legs. Like, you don't have to do that. Fall in love with, all right, what's the next thing I could get better at? Yeah. And that's the thing. I think kids just want to show off at their expertise instead of trying to get better as an individual continuously. Yeah. Nice. So advice is to get in the gym, keep working, don't be discouraged. Like, none of us is the best. To me, MJ was the best, and that's it. If you touching him right, if you could get to him, then yeah, you one of the best. But other than that, or LeBron or Kobe, those guys. But we young. You don't know. You young, so you don't know what you could become tomorrow, next week, next year. But if you're putting in the work, you might see a little bit of vision that, like, if I keep doing this, I got a chance. And remember, not just talking about myself, but I am talking about myself, but I didn't realize that till I was a junior. So think about. Sophomore year, junior year high school, 26 and 15 in the NBL. I know it's the NBL, but those are numbers. 27 again, and 13 and 16 in the NBL. Those are numbers. Providence, 13 as a freshman. You average 13 right now in college. You're in the league. You thinking you about to go upstairs. Like, I'm thinking, you think you about to go to the A. I mean, that's just what it was. And back in the day, for me, it was like, bro, that 13 is like 3, bro. You're not going to the NBA. Yeah. So that's the difference, but everything's in influx now. So that's the thing. And if you can realize that early enough, then you won't fall into the trap that everyone else is falling into.
No, that's good, man. I like that. What do you think is harder, making it to the league or staying in the league?
Staying in the league is the hardest, because if for those of you who don't know, the average rate of an NBA player is like 3 years. Average rate. You can name LeBron and Harden and Russ and KD, all the stars you can name. But there's a lot of players, and they at 10, 12, 15. So just if I said the average is at 3 years, just imagine how many dudes you was like, oh, that dude made it, and now you like, where you at? If you ain't a star, or you ain't got a role, or you ain't got a special, or you're not a specialist in something, then it's going to be hard for some players to stick. And that's the main important thing. Everybody get the first year. A lot of people get the first year. Even first round picks get the first year and probably the second year because the first and second year is guaranteed.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get that third year.
Right.
It's very hard. And then it's really hard to get that fourth.
Right.
And to get to 5, and then to get to 7, 9, 13, 15, 17, 20 for Kobe, like, is really hard. So I would start backwards and say, Kobe played 20, Dirk played 20, Tim Duncan. Wow, look at the dedication and determination and sacrifices to play 20 years in the league.
Give your whole life to it.
Come on, if you want to become that player, that's the vision you need to be thinking about. Like today, October 3rd.
Yeah, man. I think going into one of our last segments, I just want to touch on a little bit of just financial literacy.
Yep.
I think, I think it's vital for us to speak on it. Coming, to inner city kids. So I for me, I want to create that awareness. I know we touched on it a little bit. Talking about our company that we just established, but financial literacy for me is something that I grew to learn late. So I feel like it's my duty to pass that on to kids that are freshmen, middle school, things of that nature. So what would at what point in your career did you start to become more just business savvy with your finances?
Well, the good thing about when you're in they don't do it overseas because we're in you're coming from it. Us as American players are coming to a different environment, so you don't get those, you don't have those players association groups. But the good thing about the NBA, and I'm pretty sure the NFL, any major league besides of course going overseas, is every month the NBA comes in and we talking about everything. Talking about taxes, retirement, 401k. If you have any questions, you want to start a company, if you want to start, if you want to invest in real estate, if you want to invest with these people, like, they were always open arms. Never swayed you to go with someone, but was there for the email, the call to say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Can you help me out? It's like something that's provided by you becoming, an NBA player. So the most important thing is, I think, for people to understand, it's just like when anybody gets a paycheck, taxes got to come out. So that's what you got to think about first. It's not like even the guys you love and the guys you see signed for the $100 million contract. I hope you realize that 43% of that is not their money. So that $100 million is really like maybe 49, maybe not 50, but it's maybe like 47 because you getting taxed in every state. Every state you play in as an NBA player, every time you play, you getting taxed on that. So your tax guy got to be good because every time you go play in Memphis or you go play in LA, taxes is higher in LA. Taxes is lower, and there's no tax in Florida. You go to Phoenix, you go to some of these places, you ain't gonna. So that's what I started to learn earlier. And when you get your check, then you can see all these things, and you start seeing the deduction. You say, "Damn, I thought I was 30,000.
Damn, I could use that.
What? I mean, it's just things that we talked about. We want these kids to know now, because when opportunity presents itself, you want to be as swift and on your feet. If you know the stuff, you ain't trusting somebody else to tell you something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the way I learned is through the NBA. And then, listen, things happen, you get burned. I'm not going to say people don't get burned. The people who think they know everything still got burned. So it might happen. But the more you can invest in yourself, because like we said earlier, you are the pro. Mm-hmm. You get the check. It's your check. It's your money. Don't let somebody else dictate how you're supposed to do things if you can know the things you need to do. And remember, the check is today, but it need to last tomorrow and after tomorrow as well. So it ain't just you get the check and it's like, okay, cool. I'm about to blow this because I'm about to get another check in 2 weeks. Yeah, you can do that. That's what people do. You can do that. Right. You can do that. But is it smart? Because if you can't get it, what if after 6 months you ain't getting no more checks and you ran through them 6 straight months? Now you scratching and clawing to go ahead and find something. So it's not If you got what you need, then that's all you need. I'm not saying you don't go buy nothing. I had a bunch of cars. I liked them. I wanted them at the time. I drove them. It was experience. I did it. When I look back, I say, did I really need that, or did I do that because I could do it?
Right.
And I did it because I could do it. Right. And I wanted to, but at the end of the day, it was my choice to do it because I put in the hard work. I put in the sweat and tears. And no matter what happens, it's like, that's what I wanted to reward myself with. Mm-hmm. But you also still got to know after the fact, when you still learning, like we still learning every day. I'm still learning. Even I'm trying to drop jewels, I'm still learning myself every day. Did I really need to do that? Do you really need 4 cars when you only can drive one at one time? I mean, it's just.
So what would you say your not worst purchase, but the purchase you regret the most?
Listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Give us one. Give us one.
I don't regret none of that. None of that.
Okay,
the
so what's the worst
R,
one?
The Bentley, I don't regret none of it because it was something that I was excited to have. It was like, I can do it. Like, I can do it. Right. I knew when I did it that it wasn't gonna hinder anything else. It wasn't just like, watch this, y'all. Right. It was like, no, I know what I'm doing. Right. So I sold my Bentley. My Bentley was only like, just give an example. My Bentley was only like 6 made. So when I put it off to be sold, the dealerships wanted it. So I got the bang for the buck for it. So when I crossed over and got the other car, I had hit a bonus on my contract. So I didn't know I was gonna hit the bonus. So it's like,
what do you mean bonus?
So another little thing when you got good agents. When you got good agents, you put little things in your contract that's like, you shoot over 43% for the field, and maybe say it's 10,000. You average 12 and 5, you get 10,000 for that. 20,000. You shoot over 84% from the free throw line. You put little things in because my first 3 years with the Celtics, they crunch some numbers and say, well, he ain't never averaged this yet, so we could put it up maybe 2 or 3 points. And if you hit it, we give a bonus, but it's an incentive. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I hit some of my incentives, and I was like, I didn't even know it. It was like, boom, here's a check. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Forgot about my agent.
I forgot about that. So I went and I went about. So as much as I don't want to say it was a dumb purchase because I really thought about the purchases that I did have, that was one that I probably could have went without because I really didn't. The double R. Okay. And another thing for me, and I'm just speaking facts. I'm done.
You pulled up on me at LMU with that.
LMU, and that's what I'm saying. See the
thing. I was like, this dude.
Yeah, I was taking care of my boy up. He was getting him hot meals from wifey too. But
them made meals.
I was dropping them off. Like I was like, bro, you got practice. What time you get out? I get out at 7:30. As soon as he got out, he lived. For
2 minutes away.
He lived. I could look out my window and I could look up and see the sprinklers from LMU. Yeah, so it was a blessing too that two guys from Waterbury. I was there at the same time, and not to just give Anthony something, but just to be another person to lean on in the same state and only 2 minutes away. Right. It wasn't like I lived in Calabasas and I was like, yo, bro, I can't make it out there. That's too deep of a drive. I was right there. So,
and you pulled up at a few games.
And I came to some games. Eric Gordon, I came with BD, Eric Gordon, Blake, DJ. I brought people to the games, but just to show love. It ain't nothing else. But the thing about the Rolls Royce that I had when I was here in Connecticut compared to when I was in California. When you see it in California, you just on some like, oh shoot, okay, cool. When I came here is when I really thought like, I ain't even need that. Right. I ain't even need it. If I had a house in LA and I was keeping it out in LA and where it wasn't like an eyesore, then I would have been like, cool, because not everybody got them, but they're more common to see. Mm-hmm. So when I came back home, I was just kind of like, I kept it for like another 8 months, but I had it parked in my garage in New York, and then I was just like, I don't need this no more. I did it for 2.5 years. I was like, you know what? I don't need it no more. So that would be the only, the only thing I kind of will be like, not regret. I wanted it, so it's just more like I could have probably went without that. Right. That's the only thing I would say. So, like I said about the car, going back to financial leadership real quick, just remember, this is what I always try to break it down and think about this is, if I go back to when we first started, when I grew up, I was living in projects, 2 bedrooms, No car. Mom was catching the bus to work, and I was walking to school. I had all I needed at that moment. Mm-hmm. What's the difference when you're 40 years old, 38, 50? You need one house, you need one car, you need your bills paid. If you got that, then everything else is just a bonus. Right. So you know what I mean? So when I look back at that as a young kid and where I'm at now, it's like my boy, who's one of my partners, Fluff said, sometimes less is more. Right. So if I had less stuff, I have more over here. So I didn't need all that. It's good to have. You want 2 cars, cool. You want a 2-door, and then you want a 4-door, or you want a truck, and you want a car. I get that. But to have 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's just like, it's kind of was like, not for me, but I kind of look at it now like, look what I can get. Right. But I can't drive them all, and I'm paying taxes. I'm putting gas in all 4 of them full, but I want to drive one of them. And then in the snow, I can't drive this one. And then I can't, the wheels, the potholes in Waterbury, I can't drive the Challenger. Every time I drive, I pop a tire. It's like, dude, don't do it. Just don't get all that stuff if you really don't need it. So my advice is just like, you want more for later. So if you cool with the means you got when you get just your first apartment, your first house, your first car, until that thing running the ground, don't go ahead and change up and get something else just to have something else. That would be my advice, because if shit hit the fan, you want to make sure you have some tucked in that piggy bank. Like when we was little, when we got them $20, $40 from your granddad, and you would go tuck it and still go, hey, Ma, can I get $5 for that corner store run? But you was banking that other 40, 50 from grandpa or grandma. And then when you went back and looked one day, you was like, oh shoot, I got about 300 in here. I didn't even know that. Right? So that's the same way you want to approach when you get the bigger dollar signs. It's like, if I save this. And then to me, like I always thought, like, the reason I love where I'm from and love the things that, most of the things that the city brings for us is that you want to invest it back into your community. You want to invest it and give the next generation or the youth the vision that you didn't have at the later age, at the earlier age. So that's what that's what I'm about now. You know what I mean? It's over for me. Like I know I appreciate the platform and what we talked about today, but all this stuff that we process and on both of us to the listeners right now is more on the situations we already been through. And if you take any of whether it was a mistake in your eyes or not, whatever we're doing right now, trying to give you the game on not trying to have to jump over those same kind of loopholes or them certain hurdles, if you can nip some things in the bud at an early age. So that's my advice to you guys. And I'm not trying to close this out, but I really appreciate Ant Ireland for having me on his Grind podcast. And when he said, "Hey, number 15," it's crazy. I wore number 15 with the Clippers, so I don't know if the LA connection was just on. This was the time for me to come in here and talk on the 15th episode. But also, man, Boogie B. Like I said, I've been knowing him since
Boogie B.
I was in freaking 9th grade. I was coming to Tiny's off Cook Street, and then I just looked up, and I just want to I want to say huge rest in peace to Ant Chap, man. Ant Chap was my barber. He was under B's tutelage. He was at Tiny's. It's just like, he was my first dude to have my waves intact, bro. Oh. So, you know what I mean? I'm just going to give a huge shout out to my man, Ant Chap. Rest in peace to him. And just like, everyone in the city, man, supporter, non-supporter, just know you help fuel the fire for, I don't want to speak for him, but I think for both of us. Yeah. You hear the whispers, but you also hear the support. But with anything positive, there's always going to be a negative. But when you can change most of the negatives into positives, then you ain't got to worry about nothing. You ain't never got to look back, because you made everything you want to become positive. So that's what I like to say, man. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate the opportunity. First podcast that I ever done. So, I like to just share my story, because sometimes I think the story could get written or told by somebody else than actually the person who can really tell the situations that really went on. Right. So it's good to people to know some situations, but to really know the inside of not what it takes, but what people really go through. Only the person can tell you that been through it, not somebody else who can say they know what's going on. Right. So thank you guys again, man. I really appreciate this.
No, yeah, man. I mean, appreciate you, having you on. Obviously, Boogie B took care of us today. But quickly, I just want to touch on our company we
Yeah,
just started.
I was gonna stop after you're
So
done.
you can go and
I
introduce
mean,
that.
small introduction, man. We talked, me, Anthony Ireland, Robert McKeever. We talked on Tuesday. I want to say it was Yeah, it was Tuesday. We talked on the phone. I was talking to Robert McKeever. We was talking about starting up some training stuff, and then we was on the phone for about 30 minutes, and then Ant called me, and I was just we both love Ant. He's our favorite guards, and my favorite guard out the city, but we both love him, and he's from New Haven, Robert McKeever, and he always tells me, AI is my favorite guard, bro, all time. AI is my favorite guard. And when he called in, I said, bro, Ant calling him on phone right now. We're about to do this 3-way. And we got on the phone, and it was just like instant. Like we presented him what we were doing. We were just getting started off. We just was just talking on the phone about it, and I was like, yo, bro, I think it would be a great idea if we do this together and start this training for the youth, along with a bunch of other ideas we got coming. But of course, everything takes one step at a time. But we really trying to shift the culture with all the things we was talking about: financial literacy, clearinghouse, uh, you know, um, mental health, tutoring, getting better, knowing your worth, like all those type of things we want to provide to the next and upcoming youth in our city, of course, but anyone who's willing to try to change the narrative that's always been the same. So we put our heads together and we started our own company called 3-for-1 Training. And just to give you an insight about the name 3-for-1 came because, and for those who don't know, you don't know Robert McKeever probably, some of you probably do, but we all wore the number 3 in college. I was number 3 at Providence, Ant was number 3 at LMU, and Robert McKeever was number 3 at the University of Houston. So I thought it was just ideal for us to call it that. And when we got on the phone, it was just like, this is the time to do it. It's like now, like if we wait and say, let me get 2-3 days, we wouldn't have had our first training session that we had today down at the Waterbury PAL with the kids we had. And we're training kids ages 7 through a senior in high school. And all we're doing is try to help kids get better, help kids know that they can achieve something even though they think it's out of their wildest dreams. Because you're looking at, 2 guys right now that I don't know if anybody thought, maybe they thought we would be, Division I players, but maybe they thought the cutoff might have been there. We don't know that, but we wouldn't be here today and able to express this knowledge if we didn't keep continuing to believe in ourselves that we can do something different than maybe someone else have already done. So I'm excited to announce that we started this partnership together, and we're trying to change the narrative and shift the culture in a lot of ways, and not just in sports, because we've been through a lot of situations where I think, like I said, if you learn from our mistakes earlier in life, then it'll be easier for you later in life. So if you want to check out what we got going on, our Instagram is 3-for-1 Training. And if you would like to get some training sessions in, you can go ahead and confirm time slots on that page. And then we, also can reach out to us if you have to. We have email as well, 3for1.ct. The 3 is THREEONE.ct.com if you guys want to send any emails and find out any more information. But all of our stuff is pretty much on our Instagram page. But, we got more and bigger and brighter things heading in the future. So hopefully you guys will, follow us and check out the things we got going on. And just to give you another heads up, we're doing it at the Waterbury PAL, 64 Division Street for the remainder of this month. But we have a few other meetings where we're trying to get some other locations locked down so we can really bring this whole idea that we have with what already Ireland has going on with its AI3 Leadership Academy. So we're trying to do something huge, and I'm pretty sure the city, the state will like what we have to offer once we have all our ducks in a row. So we'd like you to go out and kind of, support us from a distance, or, come down and bring your kid. Boys and girls are welcome to train. And, hopefully we'll see you down there one of these weekends. And I'll give it back to the man of the hour to close out this Grind podcast.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on. It was great having you. Great insight, man. Great dialogue. I think this is something that the culture would definitely gravitate and tune into. I think, a lot of people need to hear your message, need to hear, stuff we talked about, mental health, the financial literacy piece, and just, your journey. It's inspiring in itself. Um, so yeah, man, it's a wrap. End of episode 15. I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate B. We on live location, Waterbury, Connecticut. Family First Barbershop. Come check him out. Boogie B. He's the man in charge. We out of here.
Big Lakers fan. But one last thing, I got to go with my slogan.
Yeah.